What's going on, guys? It's Rob from Heroes Avenue, and we got Darren in the house. Darren is live streaming through Zoom here. We got what we have in store for you guys today is a Wonder Woman 1984 spoiler review. So if you guys have not seen the movie, I don't know why you're in this live stream right now. Go see the movie and go watch the recording of this video. Anyways, it's been a crazy holiday weekend. Darren, how was your holiday? And then we'll kind of jump into it after we just catch up for a quick sec.
Yeah, dude, it was different this year. We just stayed in our apartment. We had Bernie's family come over, and then I came over to my mom's house. But we're all good. I mean, my mom doesn't have work, so I work from home too. So we're all pretty safe here. And so yeah, it was super short. This time I actually cooked this year. I cooked ribs. I don't normally cook, but it's what I've been doing during
Chef Darren.
quarantine. So,
Okay,
dude, I
cool.
was I was doing like this Gordon Ramsay recipe. It's like the sticky ribs. So
Yeah, okay.
it's like really good. But yeah, how was yours?
Weekend was cool. We kept it super low key, and I think this Wonder Woman movie was like the thing that got me super pumped for like my family coming over, and we watched it together, and we had like 3 kids in the house, 2 of them babies, and it was insane. While I was watching Wonder Woman the first time, I watched it again last night. But while I was watching it the first time, like there were crazy. We have 4 dogs in the house too. So it was just insane. I had to pause the movie. So I watched it again last night and getting ready for this review. Welcome everybody who's joining us. By the way, we're going to go into the comments later on in this video and just let us know what you thought, because we're going to go and see what you guys thought. Because looking online, Darren and I were talking about this right before the stream started. There's a lot of mixed reactions, even amongst the DCEU hardcore fans. And so I'm really curious to see what you guys thought about it. So let us know how you liked it. What's going on, guys? I see you guys joining in, Jay, George, Lyndon. We're gonna go into what you guys had to say about it in a little bit. But here's what we got in store for today. We're gonna go into let's see. We're gonna go. Here's what we have in store. So we got our topics for today. Overall thoughts. We're gonna go into our likes, our dislikes. We're gonna score the movie based on a 5-point scale or a out of 5, and we're gonna rank our current DC movies as well. And then Wonder Woman 3 just got announced, so we're gonna talk about that at the end of the video too. So Darren, let me ask you this. I'm gonna ask you first. So, what were your overall thoughts? Sum up in a few sentences. What are your overall thoughts of the movie?
Oh man, this is a loaded question already.
Yeah,
Damn.
sorry, you had to be the first one to do it.
Overall thoughts. Overall thoughts. I thought it was mediocre. I thought it was okay. The movie is it's a very different superhero movie. And because it's a Wonder Woman movie, that's why it's like that, right? And so it's not your typical like action movie. It for some reason it just like it doesn't live up to the expectation, doesn't live up to the hype.
Okay.
There's a lot of shortcomings in this movie.
Okay.
And so I thought this movie was okay.
It was okay.
I wasn't like entertained. I think that's the one thing that
You weren't entertained.
I wasn't
Okay.
really entertained.
Okay.
No. Like it was just the tip. I only just got just the tip, right? So it just I need to go like this answer. I need to go more in depth. So
Yeah. Okay. So we're gonna go
I'm excited
into
to talk about this.
yeah, for sure. And I totally get you. So what I thought about this movie, if you asked me the first time I watched it and after the second time, there would have been 2 different answers.
Yeah.
But overall, this movie, I felt like this movie was. I get the same feeling as I got getting up for a Saturday morning cartoon. back in the day, you know, watching your favorite show in the morning. That's the kind of entertainment I got out of this movie. I came out entertained, and but the thing is, I came in with very subdued expectations because of what I saw in the trailers and in the little segments that kind of got leaked out. And so it helped me kind of prepare for what kind of, you know,
Yeah.
theme or themes and action that we were going to get in this movie. So I came out entertained, and I think that's just it. And you know what kind of sums it up on Twitter? On Twitter, and we're gonna go into the details. I see you guys jumping in there in the comments. We're gonna go into the details and go into what you guys have to say in a bit. But it's funny because you posted on our Twitter account. Here's what you posted. I'm on our Twitter right here, and I was kind of laughing at what you posted because I was like, that kind of sums up how I felt about it. So you have this little Ti meme. He's just like
Yeah, I
leaning
posted
back,
that.
and he goes, "Okay, this is what it is."
Yeah,
Like, and
that's that's exactly, yeah, it's
yeah.
exactly how I feel. I think that sums it up perfectly.
Yeah, so that's
Yeah.
that's that's kind of how I feel about it. So, yeah, so overall, guys, you can if you can shorten your thoughts about this movie in just a sentence or two, definitely drop down below. We'll talk about it later because I have a lot of thoughts. But if I had to sum
Yeah.
it up, I was entertained and I was okay with it. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
Um,
okay with it.
Shoot, man, my coffee is kicking in right now. So if I start talking fast, guys, don't mind me. My coffee's kicking in hard. But let's go over and talk about our likes and dislikes. Now, I'll go first since I made the
Yeah,
graphics for this live
go for it.
stream. So, uh, likes and dislikes. Here, this is not all of my likes, and it's not all of my dislikes. So, let me go over this list that I got for you guys. So, my likes. I loved the time period we're in. The 80s is just something that I think I can't get enough of in terms of entertainment. You know, it's always done very well and a little bit differently between artists. You know, whether you're watching like Stranger Things or Wonder Woman 1984, all the aesthetics are there, and or if you're watching it, you know, you get different takes on the 80s based on the filmmaker's perspective and the writer's perspective. So it's always cool traveling back in time to the 80s. So I did love the time period, and I thought the movie did really well in establishing the time period and kind of immersing yourself in that. It felt like I was in there. The second time I watched it, I was with my parents, and they were like, "Yeah, this is the year we got married, and 1984 is the year my
Oh
parents got
wow.
married." And they were like, "Yeah, it was totally like this. I had my shoulder pads and my puffy hair, so I enjoyed that. It's always fun going back into the 80s for me." Second thing for me is I loved the Hans Zimmer score. You know, the opening sequence of this movie alone, traveling back to the mascara, he had a twist on the score which was amazing. I mean, I loved it. There's other parts of that I didn't really dig, but I'll talk about that later. But Hans Zimmer continues to kind of establish himself to me as like the best composer for superhero movies right now. We'll get that tested with Junkie XL and Justice League, I'm sure. But
Yeah.
yeah, I mean Hans Zimmer, man, his score is amazing. And you know, we'll talk about the climax at the end. And I know there were some people who don't like it, but I thought the use of A Beautiful Lie was, I loved it. Now I know there's people who
Yeah.
didn't, but I loved it. We can just, and then we can go into discussion and kind of compare our list in a second. I loved that Wonder Woman leveled up in this movie in a lot of different ways. Now, with this leveling up of Wonder Woman comes some questions, right? And that's kind of in my dislikes, kind of. But I loved to see them pull from Wonder Woman lore um, and kind of just establish these things in her abilities now. So her being able to fly, being able, you know, bringing in that invisible jet. I didn't think they'd do it. I was kind of hoping they weren't
Yeah,
going to
that was
do it.
cool. That was
I
one of
was
my likes too.
yeah, I was kind of hoping they weren't going to do it, but when they did, I was like,
Yeah.
okay, I can get down with this. I like this. You
Yeah.
know, so I kind of was just along for the ride. And then Pedro Pascal, man, I think he steals the show in a lot of different ways. And again, I'm gonna let you go through your list, and we can just talk about
Yeah.
this.
Yeah,
Um,
that's fine.
Cheetah versus Wonder Woman. The little that we got, I thought was awesome. Now,
Mhm.
Kristen Wiig as a whole, I think could have been fleshed out a lot more. I think Pedro Pascal got fleshed out really well. Kristen Wiig, I think it was kind of like fast storytelling with her, like just letting you know, hey, oh, here's who she is. Here's her transformation really quick. Here's how you know she's transforming. She can balance on her heel. But I didn't really like that part. But the cheetah aspect of it, what we got at the end, I liked, and I did like the climax. Some people might have found it anticlimactic, but I did like how the movie ended, and you can tell it's different than Wonder Woman, the first Wonder Woman, because it didn't end with a bombastic fight sequence. That
Yeah.
was kind of half-assed, you know. She got to tell the ending that she wanted, and Patty Jenkins famously said just recently that Warner Brothers made her change the ending of the first movie to make it bigger, more action, a bigger action sequence. So those are my likes, Darren. You can talk about it, riff off of mine. Let me know what your likes were for this movie.
Yeah. I have some. We have similar likes, but I'm just gonna go down mine. Um, so the first thing I liked about this movie was the opening scene. I really love the obstacle course, the race, whatever you call it, in Themyscira. I thought that was so cool. I love the music. The music in the intro was so good.
Yeah.
I mean, on top of the score of the entire movie, but specifically this opening score was so good. Like it was epic. I was excited. I'm like, oh yes, Wonder Woman again. Keep in mind, I watched like Wonder Woman like 5 times in the theaters. One time, I even watched it by myself. Because I love the movie. It's way out. It's like on the top of my list of DCU movies. So this movie, I was so hyped from the beginning, right? Even though
Mm-hmm.
that was like our only scene of Themyscira, I purely loved it. And then the next thing I liked was Wonder Woman saving people. We got a lot of that.
Yeah.
There was times where it felt like it was like too much, but I loved it because we never really see that in DC movies, right?
Yeah.
I mean, we saw some. We get like Superman saving like 2 people, um, and we got some of that in Justice League 2, but I don't know how Zack Snyder is gonna pull that up, gonna do that in his
Mm-hmm.
version, but
Yeah.
this time it's like really like Patty Jenkins wanted to show you like Wonder Woman is like saving people behind the scenes and is trying to be very discreet about it. Besides being in the mall and opening daylight.
Yeah.
But I love that. I love that. I also liked how they utilize Wonder Woman's like lasso and tiara. I thought the lasso, I liked it to a certain extent.
Mm-hmm.
Catching a bullet was a little bit
Yeah.
too ridiculous for me.
Oh
It was a little
man.
bit too ridiculous for me, but
I'm gonna go into that. I'm gonna go in
yeah,
on that scene.
I thought that was too ridiculous,
Yeah.
but I did like how she was able to like, use it to fly. I liked how she was able to like dodge bullets with it.
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of like unrealistic, but it is what it is. It works for me.
Okay.
And then the tiara, I liked how she used it. I was waiting for her to. I didn't think she was gonna use it like at all in the DCU, but
Yeah.
I'm glad that they utilized it.
Yeah. 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 For sure.
And then I liked how Diana was in the beginning. Like I like how she was different. Like she was very focused, determined in the beginning of the movie.
Yeah.
She was like she had like tunnel vision, right? And
Yeah.
she kept herself distant from people.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
And you could kind of see how she grew into the person she was when we see her in Batman vs Superman. So I felt that felt real to me.
Yeah, Diana actually gets a lot more shine in this movie, which is something it's a positive that I didn't have on mine, but it was definitely there. I did love how we got to see more of Diana, and her saving people. So first of all, let me just go ahead and say what's up to everyone who's in here, who's in. So Jay, George, Shin,
It's a lot of people.
Francis.
What's up, guys?
Taurus, what's going on, Sean? We're gonna go into what you guys had to think. I like that you guys are chiming in. We're gonna definitely read those off in a second. But kind of riffing off what Darren had to say with the likes, definitely again, one of the things that I liked about this is that it leveled her up in a lot of different ways, and it added to Wonder Woman's abilities in a lot of different ways. The tiara, what the lasso can do. I'm not sure I love everything about the lasso, and that's going to lead us into our
Yeah.
dislikes. Um, so
Yeah.
let's
Yeah.
go into my dislikes. I'll read mine off. Darren, you'll read yours off, and we'll kind of talk about it afterwards. I don't have, I see, you can see I have more likes than dislikes here. So first of all, the action sequences. There was not a lot. There's not a lot. And I'm okay with that. I'm okay with not there not being a lot. I'm okay with the story building up to those sequences. One of those sequences that you build up to is definitely that scene in on the highway where she finds Maxwell Lord. Now, first of all, I mean, the physics of the movie kind of throw me off. Obviously superhero movies, they do all these crazy things that humans can't do, and I understand that's unrealistic. But the physics always, they try to make it look realistic as possible, right? This
Yeah.
movie didn't. This movie definitely
Yeah.
went the way of trying to make you feel like you're in an 80s action flick, I guess. And they succeeded. But in the year 2020, I don't know if that's what I wanted to see, but it was there and I was okay with it. But that sequence specifically on the road where they're chasing Maxwell Lord, first of all, the thing that the bullet, her lasso catching the bullet, if she had just whipped the bullet out of the way, I would have been cool. But
Yeah.
she caught the bullet with
If she deflected it with
I
the
was like,
somehow,
yeah, exactly.
that would have been
That would have been
that would have
cool.
made sense. But like literally,
She
you're gonna
caught
wrap
it.
around
Come
like,
on, that was okay.
dude.
Then the fact you put in your likes that you liked that she was saving people. I like that too. It almost felt like she was Spider-Man for a quick second in the opening
Yeah,
scene.
swinging everywhere. I know.
But there's the scene where the kids were playing on the road. It's like, dude, you got this long road in the middle of nowhere, this town in the middle of nowhere. Those kids are not going to see those big ass trucks coming. Like, you're not going to get out the way for that. So she had to like swing from an antenna, and then it looked so off. You think those kids didn't see those trucks coming? Come on, come on. Make it a little more realistic than that. I mean, if it was in a busy street in the city, then I would have been like, okay. But it's like it wasn't, there was not too much thought put into that. Like, dude, you're in the middle of the desert. The kids are gonna see tanks coming, and a girl flying through the air, explosions going on,
Hella
gunfire.
loud.
Yeah, and the kids are still
Yeah.
playing in the middle of the street. Come on. So the action sequences were definitely not a strong point, though. I will say, the end fight sequence with Cheetah was cool for the first like half of it, and then it becomes like a swinging. They're just on a pendulum, and then it ends. I was like, oh, you got me up for it, and then it just ended abruptly, and I'm okay with that. Like I was okay with it, but it's just something that I was nitpicking at. Like Cheetah was kind of badass. She was messing Wonder Woman up with that armor, and I wanted to see more of it.
Yeah, I wish we got more of it.
Yeah.
I agree.
Yeah. So yeah, and again, I understand that I understand it's a comic book movie, and I understand the aesthetic and the feeling that Patty Jenkins was trying to go for with this movie. I'm just ready to move past this type of feeling and the Richard Donner feeling of it. I'm ready to get something new. So we'll talk about that later. But yeah, I mean, you can definitely add on. I'll go into these. So I think with the likes that I had with her leveling up, it just raises some continuity questions. Like, okay, so her being able to fly, does she fly in Batman v Superman still? I mean, it's just like her, yeah, her being able to use the power what Zeus used to hide the mascara to make the jet invisible. Like, whoa, that would have maybe come in handy for like the future movies. But so I also know that Patty Jenkins wanted to treat this almost like a movie from the 80s, where it's like, hey, this franchise could have different Wonder Womans in different type of movies, kind of like Indiana Jones, or I don't know, I don't have any examples off the top of my head, but it's not a hard and fast rule for each movie, I guess. So that was something, it's not a huge dislike, but it just raises questions. But totally. The next one is overly simplified storytelling. I talked about how Kristen Wiig we're meant to understand that, hey, she has these abilities now, and it's told through like, hey, oh, I have balance now. I can jump on top and balance on my heels or with my high heels. And um, I think the biggest part to me was I was fine with it, but you get the guy who's I forget what race he is, but he's meant to explain the stone. The stone that gives you whatever you want, and
You
he's
talking
just
about the
the scientist
shaman,
guy. Yeah, the shaman scientist guy. Like, wait, who are
dude?
you? It's just like
That's
out of
some the
nowhere.
stoner guy.
Yeah, it was just like out of nowhere. You
Yeah.
get him and he explained it really simple. Like I feel like that could have been done a lot more elegantly and a lot more.
Dude.
I feel like that stone could have been explained in much more intricate ways than that to make you like feel like, wow, this shit can really happen. But I was okay with it. Again, to me, the feeling of this movie was like a Saturday morning cartoon come to life. So I was
Yeah.
okay with it, but I was like, yeah, that was like really overly simplified. But it does come to a great head at the end. So I was okay. The climax of the me was to me was the strongest point of this movie. And then the little nitpicks of the dislikes is the dialogue at times. This was to me though, Gal Gadot's best performance as an actor. But there were just times where the dialogue I thought was a little off. For example, there's a scene with Kristen Wiig and Gal Gadot eating dinner or eating lunch, and they go, "Wow, you're so funny! Oh, you're so funny!" And I'm like, "Oh God, this is so campy and cheesy." I just thought, there were times where it was like that. There were some strong moments with Steve and Diana. We haven't talked about Steve yet. And then there were little bits of dialogue in there that were like, I can't do this right now. I can't do this right now. I just thought the delivery was not the best
Hmm.
in those instances. But I do think Gal Gadot's best performance so far, and I think she is a great Wonder Woman. I just think there are little bits if I had to nitpick. But these are nitpicks, guys. I enjoyed the movie overall. It was okay. And yeah, those are my dislikes. Again, more likes than dislikes. But Darren, what were your dislikes?
Okay. Before I go into my dislikes, I wanted to add in with what I liked about this movie as
Okay.
well.
Yep.
I like the whole Steve Trevor, fish out of water. Like he's exploring like this
Yeah.
future
Yeah.
world. I love that whole aspect of it, and I love how it reversed the roles
Mm-hmm.
with Dan and Steve in the first movie compared to this one. And I thought that was done so well. And I just loved seeing his reaction to the future.
Yeah, and
Um,
what was cool to riff off that
yeah,
is, when we saw him, we were like, how are they gonna bring him back? This is kind of, I don't like
yeah,
this. And, automatically you're kind of like, I don't know if I like this. But the way how, like the panning movements to kind of make you realize, hey, this is really not Steve Trevor. It's this Steve Trevor in a body, and she's just
uh,
seeing him. I thought that was cool
yeah,
too.
yeah. I thought it was cool.
Yeah,
It was a little silly when you could hear his voice, and
yeah,
it's not the dude's voice. I'm like, what
yeah,
the hell's going on?
yeah,
And I was like, oh, okay, this is where we meet Steve Trevor again.
yeah.
But
All right,
anyways,
cool. Yeah, your
let's
dislikes.
let's jump into my dislikes. So I'm just gonna start with the action scenes as well. So I felt like there wasn't enough action scenes.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I was rewatching it last night, and from the mall scene to the next fight scene, which is the desert scene, that was an hour. They were an hour apart.
Yeah,
That
definitely some
was
pacing issues too.
yeah. It felt you really feel that hour in the movie. Like you're like I'm getting like this is kind of like what's happening like Gal or Diane and Steve, they're like running around and everyone's just running around doing their thing, but there was no exciting part besides Steve Trevor finding out like what the future is like. There wasn't anything tangible during that time, and you just feel how long that movie was.
Yeah,
um and I felt like the action scenes were, I think I was watching Grace's review, and she really nails it, where Wonder Woman was purely, when in all of her fight scenes, she's mostly on the defense,
yeah,
right? She was never on the offense, so you never really see her brute strength. Like she never really goes all out in these action scenes.
mm-hmm.
Not like the first movie, like she just gives no f's, right?
Yeah.
And she goes all out. And for this one is, I think that's was a huge letdown with the action scenes. Like you never, like you just get the tip, of like the actions of Wonder Woman in the action scenes.
Yeah.
Um, and because she's playing defense,
Yeah.
and because she doesn't want to hurt anybody.
For sure. Yeah.
She's so compassionate.
Yeah.
And that was a huge letdown for me.
Yeah. No, for sure.
And I mean, yeah, I mean the whole, I mean that's the plot of the movie. I feel like the plot of the movie could have been a lot better as well. But anyways, another thing that it's not like I didn't like, but I kind of questioned it. Like, did it have to be set in the 1980s? Like specifically, like I love the era, right? I love the era, but did the 80s contribute to the story?
I think it. To be fair, I think it did. But go ahead.
But like if you're gonna set it in a certain era, it has to be a character in the movie. Like it has to like in the first movie, it was set in World War One, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so literally like that was the World War One was part of the movie, that era. And but in this one, it's like what is, like you could easily have said like this plot could be set in the 90s, could have been set to the 2000s.
Yeah.
You could just
here's so
like, but why specifically the 80s? Like what did it have to do with the story?
So if it was to respond to that in defense of the 80s, I would say and again, everyone, you're definitely entitled to your opinion. I definitely think, there are aspects. Okay, let me just go into it. So the 80s, sorry, I go on tangents, guys. And we're going to get into your comments right after this little segment, guys. So I appreciate everyone joining in. So the 80s, I think it's an era of excess, as Patty has mentioned in interviews before.
Yeah.
But her drive home kind of theme of this movie was that, I mean, you see it at the end where it's like, hey, this era of excess, the greed can sometimes blind you to what you're actually losing. And I think the story, the words that Antiope says in the beginning kind of help resonate this theme, although I thought it could have been done stronger. But I definitely think, hey, don't let your desire for whatever material possessions, power, money, what have you, kind of blind you to the fact that these, your pursuit of these things can make you lose yourself in the process. And I think the theme can be accentuated by the 80s in the era of excess, the era where, it's kind of hit you over the head, with Maxwell Lord, more, it kind of hits you over the head with it. And I think this was a time period where everything was excessive, not only from the clothing, but all the way up till the nuclear arms race. Just how how much we went to try and one up each other in terms of our different countries, and so I think that's why the 80s felt good. And I just think it just makes for great aesthetics for the movie. So I thought, with all of that, that's why I think it was set in the 80s. And also because it makes it so Patty can tell you what she did in the meantime, from that I forget how much was it, 100 years or something, where she's been gone from this world. And it shows you, hey, this is how she's been using her tiara to break all the cameras, and in this era there's not that advanced technology that can identify her. So when Bruce Wayne and Batman v Superman, so from what I understand, Patty Jenkins is trying to play within Zack Snyder's universe still. So so that's my defense of it. But that's why so that's what I think. But I mean,
I guess so. Yeah, I mean, I knew that, but it's just I kind of, I guess I wish I wanted more of a reason. Like I understand the whole excess of like how the world was back then in the 80s.
Yeah.
I don't know. I wanted something more tangible.
Cool.
But anyways.
Yeah. Okay. So was that all your dislikes?
No. I only said two things.
Oh, sorry. Okay, go ahead.
It's okay. So let's see. I'm gonna try to keep it shorter than in my actual notes here. Let's see here. I'll say that I don't know with the whole okay with I just felt like Max Lord, um, he, he just wasn't he just kind of a boring villain. Like
You
I
didn't like
understand the
him,
whole.
huh?
I didn't
Okay,
like him. I
okay,
I mean I like Pedro Pascal. I
sure.
think he has great charisma, and I think he brought a lot to what he was given
Yeah,
to the character. But honestly, I just felt like he just his scenes were just like I don't know. It wasn't. He didn't. I didn't feel threat. I didn't feel threatened when every time he was on screen. Right. I
sure.
didn't feel like I felt like he was there to represent greed, and then Cheetah was there to represent like strength or just like his muscle, right? For the action scenes.
Mm-hmm.
I felt like he was trying to do his thing. He was trying to like be the most successful man in the world, and he was trying to like conquer everything. And he wasn't. He was just. He was a man on a mission, and Wonder Woman was just trying to chase him throughout the whole movie.
Yeah,
And it just like it felt like there was no like real conflict with him and Wonder Woman. Like I didn't feel that.
yeah, I think it's
Um,
more or less of a physical conflict that Patty
yeah,
Jenkins is going for at for sure, and I
but
think there
it's
are more tropes of the '80s characters, with the type of person he is. There are more tropes of the characters that are often portrayed in movies in the '80s. I think so. Yeah, you're right. But
I
yeah,
mean
I
like
can
he
see
he could
how.
have like I don't know, like I just didn't feel like again, like I didn't feel like he was a huge threat. Like it wasn't until like the last like the last act where he like you're like, "Oh, dang, so the world is going to shit." Um and I just didn't feel like the stakes were that high, and I just felt like I felt like Wonder Woman was just chasing Maxwell Lord and she couldn't keep up with him. And every time we saw his scenes, like every time he was like making wishes and all that stuff, I just felt like it. I felt like it didn't his character like there wasn't a huge arc with his character. Like in the beginning, he was already greedy. Like he wasn't successful, but he was greedy and he was already obsessed. Like he already had a plan with the stone, right? If you were like it would be different if like he got the stone and he just made one wish and the wish was like I want to rule the world or I want to be the most successful man. But his wish, he already knew what the stone could do, and he already had plans to become the stone and make as many wishes as he wanted. And so the development of his character, he was already super greedy. He just got greedier,
Yeah,
and it just
yeah.
like there wasn't a
Well, you get that at the end, though. To be fair, but I totally
yeah
get what you're saying. I
yeah
I
yeah.
agree with
But
you,
like
and yeah,
but with Cheetah, it was different. Like she had like a real arc. Like that's why I loved Cheetah's character, and I love what they showed us. But I just wish we had more of like I love Barbara. I just
yeah,
wish we had more Cheetah.
yeah. Me too. Yeah.
And so like and so I guess it was just like I wish they explored more of Maxwell Lord's like motivation for why he wants to like they gave us like those flashbacks, but I wish they gave us more motivations to why he wants to why is he the way he is right now.
Okay.
Like maybe explore like being more of like an outsider, maybe being like a minority in America, and trying to prove people wrong. Like
Yeah.
I wanted more depth for his character, not more like I want greed. Like I want give me your wish. Like what is the wish you want?
Yeah.
Like I just felt like it was so. There was a point where it became like so repetitive with the whole wishing. I was like,
I get that for sure.
okay, all
Yeah.
right, I get it. Like you don't have to show us all these
Yeah.
wishing scenes.
Okay.
Um, and so I'm just gonna leave it as that because I feel like I said a lot. But I think that was like the main thing. I just felt like there wasn't a real conflict with him and Wonder Woman, and it just didn't feel like there was stakes.
Okay.
And I just felt like I just felt like Maxwell Lord wasn't a strong enough villain.
Okay. What? So
But
was that all your
but I
dislikes
guess
right
that's
there?
I yeah, but I guess that's how it is with like politics. Yeah, yeah, those are all. I mean,
Those are all
I
your
could say
dislikes? Yeah. Yeah.
I could
Yeah.
say
For sure.
more. The shaman. Just a side note.
Oh
The
yeah. Yeah.
shaman dude.
Yeah.
I felt like that was like a comedy moment. Like he looked like the. Have you watched the Hot Chick?
The hot
The
chick,
hot chick.
dude. That's
The
an
hot
old
chick.
movie.
Yeah, no. Do you
Yeah.
remember Adam Sandler in that movie? He was like, "Hey man, you could put your weed in here." Like he was like
Yeah.
that stoner guy.
Yeah. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what he looked like to me.
Yeah.
I just thought that was hella funny. I thought the wig was just hilarious in Wonder Woman 84. I was like, what the hell am I watching? And
All
so
right. Yeah. Yeah. Dude,
yeah.
I would talked about that scene too, and that's actually one of my least favorite scenes in the movie. But
Yeah. Like
yeah.
what the
Yeah.
this guy?
So
But anyways,
so
yeah.
with that being said, let's go into so part of our agenda for today was to um go into our score for the movie. So Darren, score the movie out of 5. Let us know what you thought.
Okay, out of 5, I give it a I give it a 2.8. I give it a 2.8.
2.8. Fair.
Yeah. I was gonna give it a 3, but
Yeah.
I feel like I was being too nice.
Yeah. So
Yeah,
yeah.
2.8 for me. 2.8 out of 5. That's me being honest.
Sorry, man. I just saw someone in the comments post, "What do you think about Diana having sex with a guy possessed by?"
Oh yeah. Oh yeah, the whole rape. Yeah, I know.
So, dude, that's crazy. That's crazy.
I didn't think
even
about it until I
that.
went on the internet. I didn't
Okay,
think
sorry.
about it until I got.
We're supposed to be scoring the movie, and we're reading your comments in a second, guys. I just saw that.
So Paulo.
And dude, that is that Paulo? What's up, Paulo?
No, Paulo's in the loose joints.
Oh, he's in. Okay, all right.
Okay.
Yeah, let's get into his comments after this, and then we'll rank the DCs after. So
Okay.
I liked your score. I'll say I was gonna give it a 2.75, but I'll raise that up to 2.8.
Okay.
Again, guys,
All right, cool.
for me, like if I was to rank stuff out of 5, I think a 3 out of 5 I think it's a good movie, a really good movie. And for me, like you said, we kind of summed up our thoughts on this movie with this Ti, this Ti meme right here. So that's kind of what I thought about. I was entertained. I was entertained like a Saturday morning cartoon, and I see that a lot of people love the movie, and I appreciate that, and I love that there's some diversity and discourse between the different DC factions, and it just kind of shows how wide of an umbrella the DC fandom is. So with that being said, we're gonna get into the scoring. Where we scored it. We're gonna get into our DCU ranking in just a second, but let's go ahead and give some love to the chat. What's going on, guys?
What's up, guys?
So let me go ahead and
top or
I'm gonna and guys, we can't respond to everyone, but I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of read through it. So it looks like George liked it. Torres says, I did not like any scenes between Diana and Steve, only scenes with Pedro Pascal and Kristen Wiig, which had more, wish we had more scenes with her. So kind of something like what you said, but a little bit opposite. He didn't like anything with Steve. So that's interesting. Sean, what's going on, Sean? Cheetah's, so Torres talks about Cheetah's score was the best comic villain score. You know what's funny? I only noticed it when she started kicking that dude on the street, but I didn't notice it throughout the movie. Maybe I was just too focused on what's going on, so maybe I need a third watch of the movie. Jay says, first viewing, I disliked Wonder Woman in 1984. Second viewing, I appreciated it, liked it a lot more. Wish there was more Cheetah. Not a perfect film, but I'll give it a pass. 7 out of 10. Invisible Jet scene was cool, too. 7 out of 10, so that's... I don't know what that equates to out of 5, but yeah, it sounds like you really enjoyed it, and again, you disliked it, and there was a total 180 for you. You disliked it, and now it's a great movie. 7 out of 10, I think, is a really good score for a movie, and to get to that 8, 9, and 10 is really hard for me if I was to be critical. So I'm glad you liked it. So George liked it, 7 out of 10 too. So yeah, it sounds like a lot of people liked it. Like again, I found a lot of enjoyment out of it.
There's Au Pair Francis Aguirre. Sorry. He said he dislikes the visual effects, so sloppy and cheesy, and it wasn't realistic enough, and of course not enough action.
Yeah.
I mean, I think the visual effects, it was pretty sloppy. I mean, I think the whole fight scene with Cheetah, I think it shouldn't have been taking like place at night.
Oh, they did that because of the effects, dude. That's why they did it.
I feel like it just made it worse. It just made it worse.
No, the reason why it's dark, and I only know this because I play around with Adobe Premiere, whatever the visual effects. I play around with that sometimes, and I try to imitate effects for movies. And the reason they did that, especially with the Cheetah sequences, because they're hiding the fact that the visual effects, and it looked great at night to me, But if they had changed it with more lighting, I think you would see a little bit more flaws in the effects. And
I
again, I'm
guess,
no
but
VFX artist, but I'm certain that's why it was
like
there.
it was already
At the,
bad to begin with. That is that what you're saying?
I'm saying that.
So
Well,
they
no.
just
See, I liked it. I liked how it looked at night, but I think with Cheetah, they did it at night because they were trying to hide any flaws that might be there. You know what I'm saying? So it'll take you out of it a little bit more if you had seen her in the daylight, maybe based on the technology that we have right now. Hopefully it gets better, but I'm thinking that's why they put it at night for that specific reason. But I think in terms of visual effects, I think it just goes with the physics of the movie. I think the effects were actually pretty good, but I think
yeah,
the 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 physics of the movie made it feel like they were wonky.
yeah,
The way that her rope defies physics, and like she'll be able to grab two people at the same time with one rope, and it just kind of makes
yeah.
it look weird. And so yeah,
It's like yeah,
let's go.
yeah. And
Let's try to get to everybody's comments
and
here.
then there's let's see, the loose joints. Wow, an hour between fights is really bad, especially a comic book movie.
Yeah, man. I mean,
Yeah, I
people are
mean,
looking for that action, especially on Christmas. I mean, again, it's up to the director to tell that story. But if there wasn't action scenes, then you got to keep that paced up. I feel like it did slow
yeah,
down a little bit.
yeah.
Um, let's see what else. Who are we looking at?
Jo-
Go ahead.
Johan,
Oh yeah.
Johandri. Sorry. Oh, I'm sorry. Tienis. Yeah, the dialogue was so cringy. You couldn't come up with a simple joke.
Yeah, that's pretty funny. I mean,
I did like Kristen Wiig in here. I mean, there's points where I felt like I was watching Saturday Night Live, but like
yeah.
I felt like she did pretty good.
I think she did great. I think she did
Yeah, I thought
great.
she did really good.
I think her story could have been told a little better. I mean, I know you liked it, and I liked it too. I just thought she could have been fleshed out a little bit more. In terms of like she's really a smart individual, and she says it. But I think in movies, it's best to show and not say sometimes. And I wish we could have seen little sequences of her from college or something and growing up, just like they did with Pedro Pascal, where at least we got to see the sequence of him as a kid and why he became the way he was. But it's in a short sequence, I get it. But I'd rather have seen it for Kristen Wiig than just to be like, hey, I am an anthropologist, geologist, and all this stuff. So, but yeah, I totally get that. Let's go on to the loose joint says, I heard there was no 80s music. Is that true? I don't remember if there was.
Nope, there's no 80s music. That's what me and Bernie were actually looking forward to that.
Oh
We
yeah,
love
that's
80s
strange,
music.
huh?
Yeah. That's strange. Like if you're gonna say in the 80s, come on, give us like
give us the
something. Give
music.
us
That's true.
give us, yeah.
I thought the
give us,
trailer was
Tears for
great.
Fears,
Did,
come
yeah.
on. George Michael's, come on, man. Especially
sure.
like with the whole like when Steve Trevor was like trying different outfits, like that would have been the perfect moment.
Perfect.
Like,
Yeah. Totally.
I don't know, a missed opportunity, but
Giannis MP96 says, love the film, guys. Not any other movie in the DCU has conveyed as much emotion in this film. And that's fair. I'm glad you loved it. Emotion,
Yeah.
you got a lot of, the scene with Gal and Steve Trevor, though I didn't like a couple lines of dialogue in there, I thought it was a great, like, man, that must have been so hard for Diana. And this kind of led to what was supposed to be the trench sequence, the no man's land scene where she starts running and then all of a sudden she starts taking off flying. And that's, to some people that scene hit hard. It didn't, the flying part didn't hit as hard as the emotional scene for me. And you're right. It definitely, very, very good emotion conveyed, especially from Gal. So props to Gal.
Oh, I did forget to mention the armor, the Wonder Woman armor.
Oh yeah, that was dope.
Armor,
Yeah.
dude. No, but I feel like we didn't see enough of it. Like I feel like
Oh yeah.
like I wish there was more of that. Yeah, I just felt like it was so hyped up, like I just wish we had more of it because it's so beautiful and it looks so badass.
Yeah.
And then the fact that we only got like a few minutes of it was.
I thought it served its purpose, but yeah, that armor is sick. I hope we get more of it, but probably not. But maybe Wonder Woman gives it back to Asteria. We get a Wonder Woman team up. Linda Carter in the future. That'd be cool.
Cool.
Let's jump down. Sorry guys if we can't read everybody's comment. Jay has a question for us though. He says, do you blame Jeff Johns at all, and should he be attached to Wonder Woman 3? My answer first. Jeff Johns helped her co-write it, and but ultimately it's the director. So I think while I don't like Jeff Johns as a person, love his a lot of his I love a lot of his comics, but I don't blame him necessarily. But it's ultimately the director's choice, and apparently, sorry, blanking on the director. Patty Jenkins has full control of Wonder Woman, according to reports. So
Yeah,
ultimately, it
yeah,
lies on her. But should he be attached to Wonder Woman 3? I hope not. Get Greg Rucka on there. Get
yeah,
other people who worked on Wonder Woman. Let's get something different. I want something different.
yeah.
What do
I
you
mean,
think?
he was in the first movie too, so
Yeah.
like, so I mean that movie was really good. So it wasn't. I mean,
Oh,
yeah, you're
this is
right.
an interesting. A
Yeah.
Taurus. Sorry, I'm already going on to the
Go
next
ahead.
one. Theory on Diana flying. She flies by using air current in BVS. She was on a plane instantly. She was on a plane and then instantly arrived into battle. So she had to fly, which is why she jumped down. So that's cool.
Mm,
That's
yeah,
cool. I like that. I like that. I like it.
you're
So
right.
if I
We didn't
you
see it, but
yeah.
it's insinuated. Yeah,
Ah, good job on
yeah.
that one, man. I didn't even think about that. So good. So yeah. What's going on, Mario? Tor.
The one
Let's
thing I
see.
do like is I think I mentioned this before we got on the live stream was that the DC fans have been really honest about this movie. I
Yeah,
think they, from what I've seen, like no one's really being biased towards it. Like no one's like, yeah, they're being really honest, and I love that. Yeah,
yeah.
let's see.
Okay, so here's a good segue into our next little segment here. So the loose joint says, kind of scared about the Rogue Squadron movie now. Now that brings me into that that
Paulo.
that brings me that oh that's Paulo. What's up,
Yeah,
Paulo?
it's Paulo.
What's
Yeah,
going on, Paulo?
yeah.
So
So
we'll check out any comments before we end the stream, guys. But we only got a little bit more time, so let's get to sorry, I'm clicking the wrong. Okay,
Shinekage up in
so
here. What's up?
oh, what's up, Shin? So let's go before we get into the current DCEU ranking. We're gonna skip down one and go into Wonder Woman 3 and the future of the DCEU. So, quick thing here. Let's go to the internet screen and show you guys. Variety reported just a little while ago Wonder Woman 3 is in the works with director Patty Jenkins. I'm only gonna read the first part.
Yeah.
Diana Prince is officially heading back to the big screen for a third Wonder Woman movie. Warner Bros. Has fast-tracked development on the next installment in DC Comics franchise with Gal Gadot returning to star as the heroine and Patty Jenkins back to write and direct the upcoming entry. Now, here's my thoughts on it, then we'll get your quick thoughts on it. My quick thoughts is,
Interesting.
and Grace actually
Interesting.
pointed something out that while it didn't do good at first, it might be a ploy to get momentum for the movie, just to get more people talking about it, to get people to watch
Yeah.
it. They can, but for me, I feel you loose joints, Paulo. I'm kind of worried about Rogue Squadron because Patty Jenkins. I don't know if she's a great writer, great director. I don't know if her instincts in terms of reading the room is there because this movie could kind of split the audience. Like, I thought it was
Yeah.
okay. I thought it was good. I was
Man.
entertained, but it split the audience. So I
Yeah.
would rather her direct it, but not write it. That's me. That would be my hope because
Yeah.
I want something different. And Patty seems to be stuck on this Richard Donner type feeling. She did it with the first movie, which was great. This movie, she's still kind of going for it. You know, you still get the nods to Superman almost in the way that things play out in the movie, and you can check out other YouTubers that explain how the similarity is there if you want. But my thoughts are, I wish she would come back and direct it to finish off her trilogy, but I wish she'd get it in there. We'd get a different writer in there to kind of
Yeah.
change things up a bit, and she wants it in present time, which is cool. So if we got a new writer, I think I'd like it on board, and I'd even settle with someone like just getting rid of Jeff Johns and getting Greg Rucka in there, and I think that'd be cool. So
Yeah.
what are your quick thoughts on
Ended
it,
off
Darren?
with a bang.
Wonder Woman 3.
Yeah. I really hope they go back to the gods, and
Yeah,
I want Wonder Woman to be backed up against the wall. I want her to like be tested. Like I want her to have a hard time fighting this villain or fighting this whoever the villain will be. I want to see her struggle. And I just hope the story is strong. I totally agree with you. I
yeah,
think they should get a get bring different ideas to the floor.
for sure. Okay.
Um, yeah, I totally agree though.
Yeah. So yeah, I mean, we hope for the best. You know, I
Yeah,
love to be a DC fan, and even if I thought the movie was okay, I love being in the world of the DCEU. So
Yeah,
overall,
I'm
yeah.
still gonna rewatch it.
So
Like I rewatched it like three. I think I watched it like 3 times already.
like
So
look,
it's like,
the tomato meter is going down on this. I just checked it out. So you're seeing the
yeah,
split in the audience. Not that Rotten Tomatoes has to count for everything, but it just shows you kind of what people are thinking. You just use it as a metric, not as a hard and fast rule. But that's where
yeah.
people are thinking on it. And with that being said, let's go into the last part of this. We're gonna go back to let's go back to our last part of this is going to be the current DCEU ranking, Darren. So I'm going to put pressure on you, and
Woo! All
we're going to
right.
go and see what you thought first. So
Okay. All right. Just to preface this, guys. Don't hate me. Don't come after me.
don't hate him
Don't
for
come
his.
after me.
But
Don't come
yeah,
after me. I
it's
know
everyone got their
y'all
right to
hella
their own
strong with your
opinion.
opinions.
Okay, so here's what we got. I'll list them off for
Okay.
anyone who's just listening to us really quick. And
Okay.
let me know if I'm wrong, if I'm missing
Are you gonna go
anything.
first?
I'll just know. I'll list all the movies off, and you rank them. So
Okay.
there's Man
Okay.
of Steel, BVS, Suicide Squad, Wonder Woman, Justice League, Aquaman, Shazam, Birds of Prey, and Wonder Woman 1984. Joker doesn't count as part of the DCEU.
Nope.
Yeah. So what do you where do you don't have to rank all of them, but you can
Okay. No,
let me
it's
know your
okay.
top five.
I'm gonna start from so how many movies is that? That's 1, 2, 3, 4,
That's 6,
6,
7, 8, 9.
9.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. I'm gonna start from the bottom up.
Okay.
Okay. Ninth spot is Justice League.
Yeah.
Justice League.
Mm-hmm.
Eighth spot is Suicide Squad.
Okay.
Can't watch that movie. And seventh spot is gonna be on Wonder Woman 1984.
Okay.
And then the sixth spot is Aquaman. Fifth spot is Birds of Prey.
Okay.
Fourth spot is Shazam. Third spot, top three always it keeps changing, but it's BVS. And then the second spot is Wonder Woman, and my number one is Man of Steel.
Okay.
So,
mine's mine's not too far off from you. I'm gonna say my least favorite is Justice League. Can't wait for the Snyder Cut. Then it's going to be Suicide Squad.
Oh yeah.
Then it's going to be Wonder Woman 1984. Then Birds of Prey, and then where am I on now? So am I in the top 5 yet? So next up is going to be Wonder Woman.
Yeah.
Wonder Woman, then Aquaman, BVS, and Man of Steel. So that's my quick ranking.
Yeah.
It's I there's a lot of things like I enjoy. The thing with me is, and I'm accused of it because I watched this with my brother last night. My brother hated this movie. He wanted to walk out really fast, and he's like, he's hilarious. But I find enjoyment in a lot of these movies, regardless. You know what I'm saying? I find I'm like a little kid again watching these movies. I am looking at it with a critical eye, but I do find enjoyment in a lot of these. But that's my rankings.
Yeah.
Darren's rankings.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, 1984 is a lot different because it's about Wonder Woman and what she stands for, right? Truth, love, honesty, justice. And it's just this one is, and she has so much compassion for people that she doesn't want to hurt anyone.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it's just how she is, and sometimes it makes her, her movies or her character like less interesting, but. And that's the line that we're trying to walk on.
My last thought on this is that if we were to get a Wonder Woman 3, I hope they toe that line between the love, compassion, honesty. I hope that toe that line with the warrior in her as well. That way we can kind of see the both versions of Wonder Woman, the warrior and also the compassionate humanitarian side of her as well. I hope they toe that line a little bit more in the current situation. So that's my last thoughts on it. Any closing words for the people out there?
Thanks for watching. This is a good discussion. We could go on for hours but just talking about this movie. There's a lot to talk about. There's a lot to like. There's a lot of dislikes. But I'm glad I watched it.
Yeah.
So
cool. All right, guys, we've been eating good as DC fans lately. Let us know what you guys thought in the comments, or we're about to sign off. So I just appreciate all you guys in the chat: Shin, Taurus, Francis, Jay, Sean, who else got? Mario, Benjamin, George, Jondry, Francis,
Shinekage.
Shin, Satrio, Giannis, man, I appreciate all you guys. Apologize if I missed anybody. Jay. Yeah. So with that being said, it's good talking to you, Darren, as always. Hopefully we do more live streams. Let us know in the comments if you guys want to see more live streams from us, because it's really fun interacting with you guys.
Hey, next review, Zack Snyder cut.
Snyder cut for sure. And if I can get
the next review,
if I can get a reliable, we may do a watch party. I know we were supposed to do a watch party for this last Wonder Woman movie, but we may get to do another watch. If I can, if my computer holds up, we'll do a watch party for Man of Steel and then BVS. But if not, we'll just do some live streams leading up to Snyder cut. So yeah, guys. That being said, peace. Thank you guys for joining us, and hope you guys have a wonderful rest of your holiday weekend. Peace, guys.
All right.
Later, Darren.